Hey y'all, Jill here. Welcome back to Whispering Willow Farm. Today I'm going to be doing some preserving in the kitchen and headed out to the garden to grab a few more things. And I thought I would just show you guys a new way of preserving. Not really new, I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with it. However, I don't preserve this way a lot, and that is with the dehydrator. So when we got our Harvest Right freeze dryer in, we were using that a lot. We still do use it a lot, but we do typically pre-freeze everything, which just, if I can have the freeze dryer going and then I can have the dehydrator and then I have certain things that we're canning, that just makes a lot of sense to me. So we've got some Carmen peppers and some shishito peppers that I harvested that we're gonna pop in the dehydrator. But I am gonna do a quick little look out in the garden to see if there's any okra ready we can harvest, so we can throw it and just kind of max out all the trays, and we're not running the dehydrator unless it's all completely full. All right, I grabbed Nathan real quick because I harvested okra the other day with the girls, and I literally was so itchy for like the rest of the day. So I planted all this okra for this man right back here, and now I'm gonna make you pay up and harvest it. So we're gonna go harvest some of that and then come back inside. It's overcast for a minute. We had our first thunderstorm rainfall last night in what, like a month and a half?
It's been a long time. It was so peaceful though. We sat outside and watched it rain.
We did.
That was great.
And we were just like, Lord, thank you so much.
I know it.
Real quick before I do that, because gosh, you guys are awesome. We launched our Summer Solstice Collection of pots yesterday with Bootstrap Farmer, if you caught it in the vlog. These are available on our website, but anytime Nathan and I work on a project like this, I think we are both just so incredibly overwhelmed at how well you guys love and support us. You support our small business by purchasing from our shop. You support our small business by watching our YouTube and our vlogs. And honestly, like just by encouraging us to keep doing what we're doing and keep showing up. And I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of our heart. It does not go unnoticed. We do not take it lightly that you choose to spend your dollars with us and spend your time investing in our family. It means so much. This launch was a big deal for us. We really needed this launch. And we've been working on this launch for 6 months now, so it feels so good. And you guys just showed up in such a massive way, so
and I
thank
picked
you.
Every one of these colors.
Oh, you stop it. All right, you ready to go down to the garden?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, like, that was the basket I had the other day. And then these.
I'm supposed to go to the pigs?
No, well, you said that some of those were fine. He's been doing the okra test. They good?
This big one was good.
Yeah. So we fed the pigs some, but there's still some. We're gonna throw that, some of these in the dehydrator that we're harvesting today, some of the shishito peppers and the Carmen peppers for.
Speaking of which, these are fantastic.
Tell them what you did the other night after you get done with your mouthful of okra.
Last night, I just cut them in fours and put. What kind of cheese was that?
Smoked Gouda?
Was that? I don't think that was the smoked Gouda. I don't know. Anyways, I cut it in fours, put Monterey Jack cheese and a little bit of S&P seasoning from Rabbit Ridge, and threw them in the oven, and it was fantastic.
So good. The peppers had like the right amount. They had like the right amount of flavoring with the cheese and the seasoning. It was really good. Our kids even ate it, and they're not massive pepper fans.
Yeah. And I'll do that again, probably on the grill. I think they'll be better on the grill. I just threw them in the oven last night.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, you look awful cute with your basket, so.
Thank you.
You want to have a date in the garden?
Yeah.
So have you been happy with the amount of okra that we've harvested so far?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like this.
Bad because a lot of it went bad because we went 3 days without picking.
I know. That is one thing with the okra. You got to be diligent about picking or it gets so big. But for the small bed we have, I do feel like it's doing pretty good. So we've got lots of blossoms still too. Look at you go. You're going to be so itchy, babe. Oh, these are perfect. This is going to be great for the dehydrator. See how young they are there? All right, so the perfect size to harvest okra. In my opinion, it's this right here.
Depends on the variety.
It does depend on the variety. So this is the Clemson Spineless, which is Nathan's favorite. I have grown the like...
Cowhorn.
the cow horn, the Jing orange. Nathan did not like those. There's one called David Star, and it stays really squatty, but it's very woody in my opinion. It gets so big so quickly. Just don't really like that. I think one thing to maybe be mindful of is what you plan on doing with your okra. So if you're like wanting to eat it fresh, do you really want these massive okra slices? We're dehydrating most of these, freeze drying it, and then fresh eating. So Nathan, what is your #1 way to cook okra? I will tell you, I made okra the other night, and it was okra, onions, mushrooms, broccoli, and zucchini, and I made this little medley with some seasonings, some ghee, whoa, that's massive, and some coconut aminos, and it tasted really good, just kind of all done together. But what about you, babe?
I mean, honestly, Fat Boy likes fried okra.
Fried okra.
But I never cook it. So, like, you know, we're gonna do okra chips mainly with this.
You can make you some fried okra.
I mean, yeah, I think the girls would eat it. We just don't fry much, so.
Yeah, and okra's really, really slimy, you guys, when you're cooking it. I always say cook it until it's slimy, no more. But I know that some people can't get past the texture of okra, but it does really well. So we kind of succession sowed our okra. You guys can see here, this first wave we did about a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks before the second wave. So this is taller, it's been putting on faster. And then the one behind Nathan, they're a bit smaller, and they're just now really starting to come into their prime, which is nice because we've been able to take the bulk of what we're getting off of this right here, preserve it, while the ones back here are kind of playing catch up. And that's been really nice.
I was just looking at these the other day and I didn't see, I saw blooms, but I didn't see.
Get Nathan a little snack.
Are they ripe right?
Oh, that was pretty ripe. Is it good?
Yeah, that one was close to ferment.
So I just showed you guys a quick walk through the cottage garden. Y'all, I literally yesterday thought I almost killed everything in here. I came out here because we got our well fixed. We're trying to make sure all of our timers were on, but we do not have irrigation in the cottage garden because we were still working on a lot of different things in the cottage garden. I came out here yesterday before the massive rainstorm. I mean, everything was brown. It was all drooping. It was just, it was sad. It was all very, very sad, but we had all of our water hoses hooked up to be running city water out to our other food producing areas on the farm. And so it was one of those things that I didn't really have a whole lot I could do there. And I came out here and my heart was so heavy and I thought, oh my gosh, did I just kill all of this? Like, I put so much time and energy into the cottage garden in the beginning of the summer, and now it's just like all gonna dry up and die. And then thank the Lord, we got that rainstorm and everything is looking so much brighter and full of life this morning. So that is the great thing. Your plants can just be like barely hanging on, but then you'll have some good rainfall and it just kind of perks them right back up. I was extremely, extremely thankful for that. So we've got our basil out there, our black-eyed Susan, our echinacea coneflowers, our hydrangeas were looking really sad. Those were mainly the things that I was super, super concerned about. All right, made it back in. we are gonna dehydrate some peppers for chilies. Now we're getting these peppers in and we're just slowly trying to do stuff with them. Now I think our first choice would be to throw these in our Harvest Right freeze dryer. However, I've got trays of okra freezing right now that are gonna go in there, so that's gonna be full. So now we're utilizing our dehydrator, which this was sent to me, gosh,
3 years ago.
3 years ago. We don't use it often. You've made a few things in it. I personally never used it, but I know how to dehydrate things in it. But you've always been the dehydrating master. So what I'm gonna do you have any specs you want to tell them first?
I don't. All I know is this company reached out and said, hey, can we send you a dehydrator and you guys do a review on it? And we said yes. Don't know when the review will happen, but we will do one. Well, I apologize, but we never did a review. But I can tell you this is the nicest.
Thankfully, they never reached back out.
I know. But this is literally the nicest dehydrator I've ever owned. We've had the cheap ones, like I said.
It's the Electomes. I'll find it somewhere and tag it in the description.
I think it was off Amazon or something.
Yeah.
But really super nice, super easy, and I mean you can do a ton of things at once.
Yeah.
So.
The cool thing about this one too, though, is that it does have like fruit, vegetables, herbs, meats, which kind of helps you like narrow down what it is that you're doing. What is the temperature you're going to set it on?
Well, if we're doing the big peppers, probably 145.
145. And then that'll probably take, what, 6 hours, do you think? 6-8 hours maybe?
With those big peppers, yes.
Yes. But the great thing about this, one, if you do not... I want to create content that's relatable for a lot of people. And the truth is, not everyone has the resources to invest in a freeze dryer. Nathan and I were also in that same boat. I mean, it is an investment. You want to calculate that's worth that investment. And so we talk about the freeze dryer a lot because we love them and we love using it, but I do know that it is not the only option to preserve your food. You can get a dehydrator, pretty affordable, and still preserve a lot of food, and it's not going to last as long. It does dehydrate out some of the nutrients that the freeze dryer doesn't, so there are different pros and cons there. But for me, I like this for a few reasons. The freeze dryer works best if you pre-freeze the things that you put in it. And I don't always think about that or have the time to do it. And then it is taking longer. So like today, we've got stuff going in the freeze dryer that's going to take 24 hours to freeze dry. So I want to also not have to wait another day to be able to start preserving stuff because we're bringing in so many things. And so I do think that's smart if you have a freeze dryer and a dehydrator, utilize both. And then really just kind of do your own comparisons.
Yeah, and I think it just depends on your overall goal. Like,
right.
You know, with these peppers, we're just going to dry them, grind them, you know, and turn them into either a seasoning or something of that nature. I think it just depends. You know, I hands down don't know what I'd do without the freeze dryer, honestly. Like now that we have it,
like if you have the money to invest in the freeze dryer, invest in the freeze dryer. If you don't, do not be discouraged that you cannot preserve food, because we're going to be making chili powder in our dehydrator. It's another way you can do it. That's a cheaper option until you can save up and maybe invest in some of those higher homesteading expenses.
Yeah.
All right, so what I've got over here are Carmen pepper. You can do this with any sort of pepper. So the idea is to grind down like some of the sweet peppers, or like dehydrate some of the sweet peppers and then some of the hot peppers, and then toss them in a food dehydrator and mix them and do like a chili seasoning. You know, so there's a little combination of that sweet with that hot. So are you cool with that? Us doing just a couple different varieties?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut this in half.
You want me to do it?
You do it and I'll film you. Teamwork. Teamwork right there.
I was just wondering how you're back.
You don't trust my cutting skills, is that what you're saying? Did I, first of all, answer this question. Did I choose the right knife?
No.
Oh, this is married. I can't tell you how many times I hear that. Babe, First of all, you got to start with the right knife.
Yeah, you have to start with the right tool, right?
You have to start with the right tool. All right, so you're just cutting that bad boy down the middle.
Down the middle.
Isn't this fun that we just get to do chores together? It's actually like sustaining our family.
That's right. I'm having a good time. We got more of these though, right?
We do. We have a bunch of them, yeah.
Because I got the fellas coming over.
Oh, you got the fellas coming over?
And a couple weekends, and I wouldn't mind throwing some of these on the grill for them. So.
Oh, yeah, we have plenty. All right, what'd you do? You hollowed out all the peppers?
I did.
And now we just got these. I took some of these racks off too. These are the top ones.
Yeah. These peppers are so big.
They are really big. So you do want to make sure that when you are dehydrating, you're laying like the cut side up. So the skin side will go down. This might take more than like 6 hours. These are some massive peppers.
These are big. Yeah, I think 6 hours is a good start.
Yeah. And then I did have a few of these shishitos. It's not really enough for a meal, just enough to like make you mad. Maybe we could throw on there, you think? And see? Or do you just want to do like a quick little snack?
I think that's going to be a good meal tonight.
Oh, a little, add it with something, a little snack. Okay.
So probably going to have to go every other one.
Because they're so big?
Because they're so big.
Yeah. If we want to fill the whole tray up too, I could cut up some cherry tomatoes real quick.
That's up to you.
All right, babe, while you are stuffing, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah?
What's your #1 way to preserve food? Most preferred way to preserve food?
I think it depends on the food, but overall freeze dryer. Just because I know that if I put something in that freeze dryer, it depends on my goal. You know, like we've got some things down there that we probably will not touch, hopefully won't ever have to touch, but I know in 20 years it's still good, right? So there's some stuff down there for that purpose. There's eggs, there's cabbage, there's other things that we've got that this winter when I'm wanting to make like a soup or a chili or whatever, I've got all these freeze-dried goods I can throw together, reconstitute, make a soup. So I think it just depends on your purpose. I'm a prepper, so I love the freeze dryer. Because
Everybody, this is Nathan. He likes to prep and be prepared.
I like to be prepared, that's right.
Hi everybody, I'm Jill. And this is why I have a Nathan, because I am just this little free spirit that's just, I don't really think about those things, but it is good to be balanced and have someone. If we're growing all this food, we don't want it to go to waste. That's one thing that I see so much of is people grow food and it's just wasted. Like they're not feeding it back to their animals, they're not composting it, they're growing it because it's this fun trendy thing to do, but then they either don't know how to preserve it, they don't know how to cook it, and they're not used to eating seasonally, and a lot of it goes to waste. And I'll be honest, for me, when I think of why I farm and garden, it is to teach my kids to be connected, first of all, and then secondly, it's for sustainability, right? Like I'm not gonna go sweat my butt off in the dead of summer to grow food if I don't wanna know how to be able to supply and grow that food for my family. So for us, that's a large goal of ours, and figuring out unique different ways to preserve our food, which is why I wanted to do the dehydrator too. It's nice to have those skills in your pocket. Like I said, I never ran the dehydrator before, so Nathan's kind of giving me a lesson on what that looks like so I can be taking notes and know just for the future. I know how to can, right? I know how to use the freeze dryer. This is just another tool that I'm adding into my tool belt that's going to make me a more well-rounded homesteader in the long run.
Yeah, and most everybody right now is probably has an abundance. Like everybody's garden is probably, even northern states that got theirs in, you know, later, they're probably harvesting right now. So it's like, what do you do with all this food and not go to waste?
That's right. All right, so many of you guys comment about how hands-on Nathan is and how much he does, and I just want to publicly shout out this man. You do so much. Yes, Nathan works outside of our farm. He does have the freedom and flexibility with his job, which is why he is hands-on the farm too. But you guys see he's coming and helping me canning. He's helping me in here. And although I am growing the bulk of it, he really does take a lot of the weight in helping me preserve it, because that is a value that he has. He wants food stocked in the pantry. That's something he doesn't want to have to worry about. And so he's always a champ. Like, yeah, let me help you. We'll knock it out. So I appreciate all you do, babe.
Oh, you're welcome, lovey.
So while you're in here working hard, I just want you to know I appreciate it. All right, we're
She
throwing.
must want something, guys. I'm just joking.
I don't want anything. He's in here touching jalapenos, so I don't have to. We're throwing some jalapenos on here because they were left over.
And some shishito.
And some shitos. They were left over from the sauce that we made the other day. We didn't want them to go to waste, so this will be nice. We'll just mix all that we have left and then get this bad boy going. Alrighty. Now we just leave it be and let it go to work. All right, guys, that was really stinking easy. I feel like this dehydrator will stay parked right here on our counter
For a few months.
for a few months. Super, super easily. If we didn't like turn this into a vlog and teach you guys, I mean, I could have harvested, came back in here and knocked that out in about, honest to God, like less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So super, super efficient way. If you're like, oh snap, I've got peppers that are overripe, I've got tomatoes, I've got whatever it is you're trying, like okra, I need to do something with it right now. Dehydrating it is going to be a really, really quick, good option, and then you can figure out what to do with it later. We have the garlic that we harvested last week. I'm actually going to be either freeze drying or dehydrating that so that we can turn that into some sort of powder too, because we've never done that before. And I really want to do that. So I'm going to keep some fresh garlic for Nathan to cook, because we cook with garlic like every single time. But I just want to show you guys a different way to preserve, an affordable way to preserve. Pretty easy to do. Just, yeah.
Yeah, that's literally like she said, from harvest to in the dehydrator in less than 30 minutes.
And we shot a vlog and hung out with you guys in the process.
Yeah.
Did it.
I'm going to shower.
Okay.
'Cause I stink.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. We'll talk to you soon.